Hey guys, what's up? Roger here. Today you're going to be following me around the shop. I'm going to be using my head mounted camera. Yeah, the head mounted camera. And the quality is not as good, and I apologize for that, but it lets you get a kind of a first person view of what I'm doing. So I don't mind doing it every once in a while. I'll definitely be looking for a better camera that can do exactly this because I think it's really handy when I'm busy and I'm running around. I can still shoot video and talk to you guys, but I don't have to have a hand tied up holding the camera. All right, let's get at it. All right, so we've got a couple more stock items. We switched over to the bamboo PETG, and as you can see, it has a little more matte finish. So we're going to get those fixed up. My red PETG has finally come in, and so I've got to get it spooled up. Yeah, last night I created this for my wife. I didn't, I'm constantly like paying attention to what she's doing, and I'm like, oh, I'll make things to try to help her. So she has 1,000 of these tumbler things, and she's constantly like washing them and, setting a towel out. And, so I was like, I'm going to create a stackable kind of drip tray situation for her tumblers. And, yeah, I don't know. Maybe she'll use it. Maybe she won't. We'll see. Let me try to grab one of these. So this is more like I would use. This is stainless steel. So you get the idea. Wash it and then set it right here. And then the water drains down into the tray. So keeps from getting water all over your counters or having to put out a blanket or a towel. So yeah, designed that. Showed it to my wife. She liked it. Gave her one, printed up another one so I could take photos with the Yeti here. And then I borrowed her Holy Grail Stanley red tumbler and took photos with it. Put it up on Etsy. Priced it out. I think it's like $8, and they're stackable. So if you have 7 or 8 of them, you can stack them on top of each other. So it should work out. How about the Sunlu spools are 2-piece? Didn't know that. Pretty cool. Kept one just in case. But we're going to use the old bamboo refillable spool. We've got to take this sticker off. This was previously PLA Basic. Take that off. This filament is as cold as it gets. It's been in shipping for a couple days and it is super cold. I'm going to throw it in the dryer, get it dried up. Where's my label? Oh, there it is. So we'll get our PETG HF label put on there. I'm trying to move most everything to PETG. At least most. Oh my lord, I'm not having the trouble I'm having here. This is crazy. Most of my practical print stuff moving to PETG. Just for durability's sake. And then most of the stuff that I print in PLA that's more decorative, I think I'm moving everything to matte. It just looks better. I always wondered, these RFID tags. When I'm done, you could actually keep your RFID tags. And then if you print a different filament, but it actually prints well with the bamboo settings, then all you got to do is put the RFID tag in the spool of the other material, and then your AMS would identify it as bamboo filament, and as long as it prints well under those settings, it would work perfect. You wouldn't have to do anything. Stay. Grab one of these clips. My black clips are printed out of PETG, and my white clips are printed out of ABS or ASA. And I learned that because I did some initial clips out of PLA, and then I was drying some PETG and my clips melted. So I know black clips are good for PETG, PLA, and the white clips I'll have to use for ASA and ABS and whatever else. All right, now I don't need to get that order out today with this red material, but I would certainly prefer to. So I'm probably not going to dry this as much as I normally would. Dang it. Let's give it like 3 hours. I don't even know if I'll give it that much. Hopefully it's fairly dry from the factory. We'll see as it goes. But the X1 Carbon has a 0.4 nozzle, and I try not to print these things on the 0.4 nozzle because it just takes so much longer. But we'll see how much time is left on that job. Just for the sake of getting it out, we may go ahead and print it on the X1 Carbon. I do have a 0.6 nozzle for the X1 Carbon, but what I noticed was that over time, changing from the 0.4 to the 0.6 and back and forth, like some of those connectors were feeling a little, worn. And I thought, man, if I keep switching these nozzles back and forth, what I'm going to end up doing is breaking that connector on the board. And then I'll end up replacing that board on there. So that didn't make sense to me. I was like, nah, I'm not going to do that. That was the biggest motivation to getting a second printer. Not that I necessarily had so much work that I needed it, but there were jobs I specifically printed with 0.6 and jobs that I specifically printed with 0.4 nozzle. And I really didn't want to switch back and forth. I got tired of switching back and forth. So I really felt like I was going to break something. So it was just easier to just pick up another machine, put a 0.6 nozzle in it, and pretty much dedicate all of the 0.6 nozzle work to that particular machine. Luckily, my order came in a nice big bamboo box because the one customer ordered 2 of this product that typically is only ordered singles. So I didn't actually have, I had to order some boxes this size. I didn't have any. So I just went ahead and put a 10 Mile Creation sticker over the bamboo name and then repurpose this box because it'll work perfectly. So got to get some material, get some packaging materials in there. Protect our items. Perfect for a 12 by 12 box. I'm glad I ordered. I'm trying to remember, did I order 12 by 12? I think I did. I think it was 12 by 12 by like 7 maybe. Because my previous one, what is this one? This one's a U-line. Okay, 10 by 8 by 5. And the smaller version fits in that box, right? But the larger version, it fit, but it was touching the sides of the box. And I have concerns that when people are transporting my product, that with it touching the side, we'll just use these as an example. It was touching the side right here. And if that was to be impacted, it could cause issues. But this 12 by 12 will be perfect. I can put some packing material between, and they'll all stay nice and safe. So I like that. Since this guy's getting a red, and it's going to be printed in bamboo red, which will be more matte, kind of like that, then I'm just going to go ahead and give him one of those because it'll match. And then I know guy probably doesn't care, but me, like, I hate that I would send him one that was more shiny than the other one. It would be annoying to me. So probably not relevant for a person that just wants to do work. But just personal preference, I suppose. So I don't know how much more time we have on these. Honestly, 2 hours. So honestly, I feel like I want to get another printer. I want to get another one. That way these things don't take so long. It's not a volume thing. It's just like trying to get things printed out ahead of time. Like get another A1 with a 0.6 nozzle to put down here. That way, just like that red came in, I want to run off that red, and I don't want to do it with a 0.4 nozzle. But here I am. All right, so what do we got left? 2:46 on the time. So I guess technically now I could just go over to the computer. We'll do some homework, try to come up with another design today. It's so hard for me. I can literally sit down in CAD and solve a problem if I need to. I just can't come up with problems to solve. This is the hardest thing for me. This part of it right here is easy. The design in CAD, the 3D printing, the quality checks and making sure everything fits the way it should and everything works the way it should. Like that is truly the easiest part. The hardest part is coming up with what to print in the first place. It's so hard. Okay, just for the sake of getting it done, I loaded up the PETG in the X1 Carbon, and we're getting that job done. So shortly after this one finishes, that one will finish. I can get them in the box, get it out the door. So the design that I finished last night, and I put it online. Don't know if it'll ever sell. I don't know. But I actually designed this in 2 pieces. I didn't want this overhang and to have support. You can see how nice this surface looks. So I ended up printing it in 2 pieces. So this is actually a separate piece right here. And then it just inserts in there. For me, this is the bottom surface. So that piece prints like this. And then this prints in this orientation. And then I glue them together. It will just stick together. But I've got these little tiny tips where I just put a micro bead of CA glue around it and glue it together. Even just press fit, I had to push on it, but I thought, why not just put a drop of CA on it? I went ahead and specified in the listing that this was not machine washer or dishwasher safe, nor should it be exposed to excessive heat. So, just to let people know, don't set this up in your window on a hot sunny day, and don't put it in your dishwasher unless you want a blob of plastic back. So, when my designs are done, I move them from my desktop where I store them to my server. And I don't know how many terabytes this is. I forgot, but it's terabytes. Plenty. It's not even close to full. And I've got tons of graphics and you name it on it. So yeah, everything's stored there. While I'm temporarily working on a design, it'll be on my desktop. But when it's finalized, it gets moved to here. And again, I'm thinking ahead. So what if at some point the business does get big enough that I have an employee and he has his own workstation where he can send files? Then we need to have a place where everyone has access to the files. So having them on a server makes a lot more sense than having them on a desktop of a single computer. We're getting fired up. My X1C was making a funny noise when printing that one little piece for that dryer. And it was just in one direction at one speed. It was making like a noise. Every other speed, everything was fine. But just that one speed and that one direction, it was making a noise. And I'm like, well, I'm going to have to tear it all apart and figure out what's wrong with it. I may just do something. I have over 2,000 hours on this thing now. And I've cleaned the lead screws and cleaned the carbon rods and
cleaned the rods on the side, but that's it. I've never done anything to this thing. I just print, and I don't do basic maintenance at best. So happy with this machine. Now, I don't have a ton of hours on this one yet. I think it's only like 300 hours on it so far. But, I mean, I've done nothing. Absolutely nothing. There was, I think I got like this. I did get an error when I first got it. And I had to loosen up a screw on the back or something and then retighten it. And then redo the input shaping. And then, or the vibration compensation, whatever it is. And then it was good after that. But other than that, yeah, I've not had any issues at all. It's been a champ. Been printing so well. If I had one complaint about the A1, it would be the camera sucks. And it doesn't even suck a little bit. It sucks a lot. Like ridiculous suck. They could have put the camera literally anywhere else and it would have been fine. Like putting it on that arm with the bed moving back and forth it's terrible. Like it'd be better. The camera would honestly be better if it was somehow attached to the bed. That way it's moving with the bed. Obviously that can't work that way, but that would be the best scenario. Or even statically mounted up high where it's looking down. That would be better than what they have right now. That camera's awful. Say what? All right. But yeah, that's my only complaint about that machine. And then, Elegoo comes out with this new printer. I don't even try to Centurion or whatever. That one. $299 fully enclosed, single color machine. $199 open frame. That's wild. That's wild. I'm super tempted at $199. I'm super tempted to order one just to see what it does. Like the open frame, I don't really care about enclosed. I have one enclosed machine. I think that's really all I need. But at $199 for a Core XY, and I can use Orca Slicer, which I'm used to, basically Bamboo Slicer. Like, that's super tempting. But right now, I think the shipping date is like July. So, like, you're on a pre-order right now. So I'm like, do I want to, I don't know. I think I want to wait just in case some bad crap comes out about it. My luck, I would pre-order it. And then about the time it ships, one of the big YouTubers comes on and says, there's a problem with this thing and it's a piece of crap. And then I'd be out $200. So I don't really know. Poor Creality. What did Creality do? They came out with the high. And that would have been great timing. Except for Elegoo. Like, if you really wanted to be a fan of the Ender, but you just, you know what I mean? Like, you just couldn't deal with how crappy the Ender was. Like, the high was like the reimagination of the Ender. And then, reviewers start getting it, and I start seeing some, reviews of the Ender or the high pop up. And I'm like, okay, this looks pretty promising. And then the Elegoo machine comes out and just completely negates the high altogether. Like, I don't think anybody cares at this point about the high. I mean, really, honestly, with the Bamboo, if Elegoo would have took a little bit longer to develop a multicolor system, I think that would have been super, super detrimental to Bamboo. Right? That would have been a huge impact. But because it's single color, I think there's still a lot of people that can dismiss it and be like, well, it's really nice, but it doesn't do multicolor. For print farm guys, the majority of print farm guys that don't do multicolor, that looks pretty promising. Now, the only thing I don't like is that, they did for the $299 model, the spool holders here on the side, which is awesome. But when they went to the $199, what did they do? Because it's an open frame, instead of figuring out some way to mount the spool on the side, they put the spool on the back. Like, that's a no-no. We don't do back spools anymore. It's 2025. We don't put spools on the back of printers anymore. So I think a lot of people, if you're going to buy that machine, you probably wouldn't intend to put the spool on the back anyway. I imagine that's a print farm machine, in my opinion. Like at $199 for a Core XY open frame, that screams print farm machine all day long to me. But I'm sure people will figure out either how to mount a spool on the side, or they're just going to put a spool mount on their rack and just have it feed in, which I imagine the majority of people is what they're going to do. So interesting machines for sure. I talked to Elegoo a little bit. I was trying to I have no influence with Elegoo whatsoever, but emailing back and forth with the person I'd been talking to, trying to get them to maybe send me the open frame machine so I could take a look at it, and that was a no-go. Not enough social media influence yet, I suppose, but that's all good. Like I said, I might order one. I just hate to do it during the pre-order phase just because, yeah, God knows when I'm going to actually get it. It'll be, for me, I'm sure they're going to pop up on Amazon, right? I mean, I don't even know. I would assume so. I mean, if they're going to sell them on Amazon, then I may just wait until they pop up on Amazon. But these things are going to fly. I mean, they're going to sell like hotcakes. I hope they're produced enough of them. I don't know if they're ready. All right. Well, finally wrapping up this part and just doing the bridge on the handle. So I'd say it's probably got 15 minutes left. Oh, no, 4 minutes. All right, cool. So after that's done, I can get this order packed up and out of here. I started reviewing some of the items that I took off of Etsy and reevaluating. These are items that I left on Amazon and I left on eBay, and they have sold on occasion, and I'm realizing this is kind of a numbers game, right? You need to have a lot of products. Not all of them are going to sell every day, but a combination of all of them may sell. So I'm like, okay, so I'm kind of reevaluating what I put on Etsy, what I took off of Etsy, and see, recently the one battery holder that I sell was actually sold on eBay, I think, which is kind of shocking. No, I think it was Amazon actually. And that product is just never sold, right? Never ever. So it makes me wonder, should I just be leaving those up there? Or should I be, being proactive about taking products down that don't sell? For the most part, I'm not doing any promotion on any platform right now, because every one of them I've spent hundreds of dollars and got no result. So now I've got the promotions off, and I'm probably selling just as much as I did. So I don't understand that either. That doesn't make sense. You got to be flexible, I guess, and just roll with the punches. Just keep moving forward, I suppose. Nothing designed today. Like I said, I did that yesterday. But overall, I didn't even get into CAD today. I was reevaluating some of the products and seeing what I want to put back up possibly, or some items that I have that I've never put up, and see if maybe I want to do that. All right, here's the big boy. Alrighty. Looks good. Peel this off. Give this a little peel off. Oh, look at the bottom. Look nice. All right. I should wash that plate, but I'm probably fine. Close. Home. All right. Let's get this stuck in the bag.
final tape up. Make sure those don't hit each other. One more. All right, happy with that. Now we just got to use some of our fill paper. Pick up that negative space. We want to create it so that just does not move around in there. Mind you, all that cardboard there, or that paper, I don't actually pay for because my other business gets shipments, and it's just paper that I save out of my other business. All right, so that's that. End of the day. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. And I love doing this camera view just because you see what I see. Plus, I'm not walking around with a camera in my hand, which is kind of nice. But resolution's a little bit lower, and it is really sensitive to light. So I'm sure this video doesn't look amazing. But if I can find an alternative to this camera that's high resolution and does better in low light, it'd be game over. This is the only way I'd video. Alright guys, I'm out of here. Later.